In the past quite a few lectures, we have been talking about project scheduling, project planning, and finally we're going to switch the gear and you guys will taste the flavor of project control. Before we start talking about this specific topic, I'm going to just show you guys a video. Let's watch the video first.
Aircraft manufacturers have tried to fix that problem by designing the pilot out of the cockpit. This is the first fully automated plane, flown by a computer.
At this point, probably you feel like you are already an expert in project planning and scheduling because you already learned a lot of techniques, and also you've already worked through lots of problems, and you may think, as long as I can do a good job in project planning and scheduling, my project is going to be fine. Everything is going to fall in place. Actually, it is not very true because the project will not go as you planned. You always have to intervene. Just like what we see from this autopilot example in this video. We all know flying a plane, the most dangerous two parts is one is landing, the other one is taking off. So while you are doing landing and taking off, you always have to make sure everything is going as you planned. If there's any deviation, very likely you have to manually intervene or correct the course of flying so that you will end up having a safe trip. For construction, that's exactly the same thing. Even though you can have a perfect planning, scheduling, but if you don't really have the correct project control, project management intervention, and doing minor corrections along the way, you may not end up having a successful project because there's just so many moving parts in construction project. You have to be careful. You always have to constantly monitor and control those different aspects. So for project tracking, those are learning objectives. First, we're going to explain the purpose of tracking, and if we would like to track a project, what should be tracked on a project. And eventually we're going to talk about earned value analysis, and we're going to talk about the techniques. Before we talk about this technique, we have to always know how to measure the progress of design and construction. So we're going to talk about different methods for measuring progress for engineering work and construction work. And you should be able to explain the applicability for those different progress measurement methods. For what specific task, you should use a specific task of measurement method. Eventually, we are going to talk about earned value analysis. So this is a system used to track your project cost performance and schedule performance. And once we finish talking about the earned value analysis, we're going to do some calculation, and you also should be able to interpret the calculation results. So why should we do tracking? We know we always like the project to be on time and on schedule. So we want to make sure the project is going to stay within the schedule as you planned, and you also want to make sure the project is completed within the budget constraint, and you also want to make sure the project is built according to the standard, the quality that you defined. Since we already know the importance of project tracking, and we also need to know what should be tracked. So how can we make sure the project is going to be on budget and on schedule? In terms of checking whether your project is on schedule or not, you first have to measure the completion of your work packages to see if it is completed according to the expected time. So you're going to monitor the completion of your work packages, and you also need to check the scope, whether you have scope creep on your project or not. As we talked about early in the semester, we talked about the interrelationships between scope, budget, and schedule, those three basic components. If you increase the scope, very likely you're going to have impact on your budget and schedule. So it's always the important to monitor the scope of your work. Make sure you don't have you don't end up increasing the scope of your work. And you also need to check your quality being performed is according to a standard, according to what you originally defined. So you probably have to hire some inspectors to inspect the work and perform testing on the materials, on the finished product. You also should track the cost and expenditure. Try to compare with your original budget to see if you are deviating from your budget or not. If it is, how much you are deviating from it. Another important aspect of a project is the staff level, the human resources part, because people are very important to the success of your construction project. You have to make sure your team is function cohesively and everybody is collaborating. So you always have to monitor the dynamics within your team members.